Let's start with a confession. I love weird characters, and I know this will be shocking, but I once played a wizard Kinku who was very bitter about his inability to fly and wasn't even a good wizard. His spells under optimized. Did he save the party? Nope. Did he often get himself and the party in trouble because he could not contain his bitterness? Oh, yeah. But the Kinku was unforgettable, and that's kind of the point of today's episode. We're diving into the anti-meta guide to character creation, not just how to make characters that work, but ones that live, ones that get quoted 5 sessions after they're gone, because while meta can be useful, it shouldn't be a prison. So let's roll. So what is meta in Dungeons and Dragons? It's short for metagaming, but here we're mostly talking about meta builds, optimized combinations of races, classes, feats, and backgrounds to squeeze the absolute most damage, utility, or survivability out of the rules. You know the ones: half-elf Sorlock with agonizing blast, bugbear assassin rogue with alert feat, variant human fighter with polearm master, great weapon master, and sentinel, aka the you shall not pass special. They're popular for a reason. They're not only work, but they're powerful. But here's the problem: the more everyone chases the best build, the more everyone ends up playing the same thing. It's like going to a costume party and everyone showing up as Batman. It's a great costume. Batman's great, but by the third Bat Gravel voice, it starts to feel, well, predictable. Metal builds often sacrifice character for numbers. They lean heavily into efficiency and leave little room for flavor, personality quirks, or storytelling surprise. They're min-maxed machines in a game that thrives on chaos and failure and weird ideas. Here's a wild thought. What if your next character wasn't optimized? What if they were just interesting? Instead of the usual elf wizard, why not a lizard folk bard who only plays percussion because string instruments make them nervous? Or a warforged druid that thinks it's still part of a long dead forest defense system and constantly misidentifies flora and fauna? Try a halfling barbarian who flies into a rage whenever someone calls them adorable. Or a dragonborn warlock who thinks their patron is actually a long-lost ancestor whispering family recipes from beyond the grave. Sure, they might not top the damage charts, but they're their own story. Unconventional builds often unlock synergy you didn't expect. A Kinku monk might mimic the sound of an enemy spellcaster to sow confusion. A Tieflin paladin might turn every divine smite into an existential crisis for infernal enemies. The rules don't prevent creativity. They just provide the boundaries for your imagination to color outside of. Start with why your character exists, not what they can do. What's their goal, their fear, their memory that keeps them awake at night? Maybe your gnome cleric doesn't just heal the party, he's trying to redeem his family name after a massive alchemical accident leveled half his hometown. Maybe your half-orc rogue didn't mean to become a thief. It's just the only skill set he had after leaving his mercenary company. Weaknesses become strengths when they feed your story. A wizard with terrible aim might become obsessed with summoning spells instead. A bard with stage fright could turn into a support-focused mastermind, always operating from the shadows like some magical talent agent. Make space for the things you can't do well. Maybe mix up your stats so your fighter's highest stat is in intelligence and then strength. Lean into your non-min-max. Let the fellow players carry you sometimes. It builds stronger party dynamics and more satisfying victories. This part gets overlooked constantly. Before you lock in your character, ask yourself, what kind of world are we in? If you're playing in a gothic horror setting, maybe you don't show up with a beach bum Air Genasi who thinks he's on spring break. Or do, but lean into the fish out of water vibe and then make it part of the story arc. Work with your DM. If the campaign is heavy on political intrigue, maybe your brawny barbarian is secretly the long-lost heir to a noble house. Or your bard is actually terrible at lying, which makes him a hilariously bad spy. Find the niche that no one else is filling, the strategist, the conscience, the wild card. You don't have to be the best at everything. You just have to be the best at something no one else is doing. Maybe you're the one who talks to animals. Maybe you make maps. Maybe you bake cookies and hand them out after every long rest. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's yours, and your party will come to rely on you for it, even if it's not written on your character sheet. And if you have a good DM, they'll lean in with you and find the spots in the campaign for your weird character to shine. The characters we remember aren't always the strongest. They're the ones who felt real, who had weird habits, secret hopes, a name that made us laugh. Give your character something to do when they're not rolling dice. Do they collect spoons? I don't know. Keep a journal full of conspiracy theories? Write love poetry to their god? Who knows? Give them a catchphrase, a weird superstition, a favorite drink. Make them hate geese for no particular reason. Whatever it is, just give them flavor. And when you're designing them, think beyond the default fantasy art. What does your elf look like besides being pointy and beautiful? What's in their pack? What kind of scars do they have? What do they sound like when they talk? Stats help you survive. Story helps you matter. In the end, there's nothing wrong with playing meta builds. If you love your optimized Sharpshooter, Gloomstalker, Ranger, then absolutely shoot your shot. But don't let what's best replace what's fun. D&D is a story told by friends at the table, and the best stories, it's not the +3 great acts that anyone remembers. It's the one-armed paladin who redeemed a villain with a hug. A goblin who charged a dragon because he misunderstood the plan. A wizard who tried to bluff his way into a noble court by pretending to be a famous chef. So next time you making a character, maybe skip the forums, close the spreadsheet, and ask yourself one question. What kind of story do you want to tell? Because the best character in D&D isn't the highest damage output. It's the one your group talks about for years. Want more character ideas? Drop a comment below with your weirdest build or check out my video, How to Make Players Care About Their Backstories. And hey, if you like your tabletop role-playing games flavorful, flawed, and full of personalities, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next adventure. So, until next time, may all your rolls be nat 20s.